underfits are also going to pick up the smell as temperature changes, things like that. That's going to let them know when they need to get in and out of the water to help regulate that a little bit easier. But in spite of their reputations, crocodiles are actually pretty amazing parents. Mom and dad are actually going to take turns guarding eggs in the nest until they're ready to hatch, making sure nobody messes with them. And every now and then, you might even catch them putting those eggs in their mouths and rolling them around a little bit. That is because it's going to help soften their shells. So that way, when it does come time for those baby crocodiles to hatch, they'll have just a little bit of an easier time breaking out of there. Mom and dad might also be willing to ferry those little ones back and forth from land to water, riding in their mouths as well. They know nobody's going to try to mess with them as long as they are safely tucked away inside. But down on our left here, there is probably a much better view of a couple of those hippos that we were looking for. Like I said, on a cooler morning like this one, we do get to see them up on the banks a little bit more often. Just make sure we're staying seated for me back there. All the way in the back, just make sure that we are fully seated for me, friends. There's also a couple more all the way back by the wall there. You can see them down in front of the waterfall. And then as we're heading over the bridge, do keep an eye out for those crocodiles. Like I said, they're typically hanging out in the area. Looks like there might be one all the way back by the wall there, warming up in the sun. Once again, make sure that we are staying fully seated for me back there, guys. But we are going to go ahead and make our way out onto the savannah now. It sounds like it has been a pretty busy place out here. This is where we were waiting on those giraffes in the road just a moment ago. Now, as we do, you're probably going to notice plants and animals look pretty different out here. We get a lot less rain in this region, so everybody has to conserve water where they can. And a perfect example of that is going to be just up around the corner. Coming up on our right-hand side in just a second, this massive tree that we're going to pass by is a baobab tree. You can see it just off to the side of the road up ahead right now. These trees are going to remain leafless, just like this one is now for about 9 months out of the year as a means of conserving their water. And all the excess gets stored in that trunk. The animals absolutely know they've got it in there. Elephants will actually poke holes in that trunk with their tusks on occasion to get to that water when they need it. It's got a very spongy consistency to the bark, so all anyone really has to do is chew on it to get to all that water trapped inside. But one of the other things that a lot of the more famous animals out here have in common are their very vibrant coat patterns. Those help them blend in with each other and with their surroundings in this region that otherwise really doesn't offer them a whole lot of natural cover. And for that same reason, you're going to find all sorts of herd species out here as well because, again, there's not really that many places for them to hide. So, in general, they tend to prefer safety in numbers. That makes things much easier for them, as opposed to somewhere like the forest that we visited first, where we can find a lot more of those solitary species, like the okapi, or that black rhino, or that yellowback duiker, who have a much easier time hiding if they ever needed to. Now we're going to talk about everybody out here as we make our way around. One of the other things that's going to be pretty common are very important adaptations to help these animals regulate their body temperatures. It's going to be one of the most important steps to conserving water in the body. So things like larger ears and larger horns are going to be pretty common as well. Horns with those really wide bases typically are going to be hollow and